Hello and welcome to another Mole in the Morning into Gaming News today for September 30th, 2022. This is a Friday, and we have a few news today. Not that many, but some big ones. And I saw what you said, Tiny, and yes, I took the liberty to ban you from my channel. Have fun. No, joking around. So, the first news for today, well, it's not really a news, but it is kind of annoying to see this. It seems like that the age of $70 titles are really upon us. And I so not have it. I refuse to pay $70 for a video game. But do you know what I even more refuse to pay for? Yeah, that's right. $70 for Skyrim on Nintendo Switch. What? I mean, that you are still asking $60 for the standard version of Skyrim is one thing. But the anniversary edition for $70, which basically just came up on Nintendo Switch, is just like, dude, you cannot even mod this game on the Switch. And yes, I know some people will now say, but what is with like console mods for like the consoles? Look, I appreciate that they tried something like that to bring like mods to consoles, but the reality is nothing beats the modding on the PC. Nothing. Like, but $70 for a game which is now over 10 years old. Like, get a grip of yourself, man. Like, this is just ridiculous. And again, this brings us to the age of $70 games is really upon us. And I am not sure if game developers or publishers in that regard, who mostly decide how much something costs, are aware of like what they are getting themselves into. When you are increasing your price tag by $10, you are also increasing my anticipation for quality. I know, laughable in the gaming industry. I know. But the reality is, if you ask $10 more, and by the way, it's $10 in the US, it's €20 here in Europe. They have increased the price tag by €20. So aka $20. And I'm just at the point where I have to say, okay, well, then probably also your quality increases, huh? No, it doesn't. Well, then I don't really see a reason why I should give you that much money. I just don't. And I will be honest, like, I'm a content creator who normally, when I'm not sure if I like a game or I don't know how long I will play it, I'm not requesting any keys. But with an €80 price tag attached to a game, you can better well ask for a key. And if I'm not getting a key, well, then I will see if it is on Game Pass. And if not, well, then the game has to be really big and has to be something I'm really, really looking forward to, that I will invest $80 for it. Because increasing the price tag in a gaming economy where you are already making a lot of money from us, like, keep in mind, this is not like coming from gaming studios or gaming publishers who really need the money. We are talking about companies here who make billions over billions every month, and they don't need this. Like, yeah, the cost for games increased, but so did the market scale. Like how many people play video games, how many extra features you are selling. Like to say that we have to increase the price tag because, well, we haven't done it in a while is ludicrous. And especially, I don't know if you have noticed, but things are not looking too great for a lot of people right now, especially in Europe. So to increase your price like this right now, I think will come back to bite you in the ass. So, yeah. If you want Skyrim, the Anniversary Edition on the Nintendo Switch, you better shell out $70 or €80. Have fun. Or you can get it on the PC for $20. Your decision. Speaking of money, I mean, if we are already on the topic, and good morning to you, Lemons. I see you. Speaking of money, good old Overwatch has been now showcasing the item shop and what you can expect for the things you have to buy. Because as you know, the times of getting skins for free in Overwatch 2 is over, and it's now all you better shell up some money. And if you have been wondering, I wonder how much a skin will cost. Well, I'm glad that I can show you this. If you want to get the Kirigu Legendary offer, it's 31% off right now. You have to pay 2,000 of the fake credits. And if you're like, okay, what is that? What is that in money? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's $20. Yup, they are literally asking $20 here for. I don't know what all those game publishers have been smoking as of late, but whoever told them that now is the time to increase the price tag for everything you were doing gave them some bad advice. Like some really, really bad advice. And I will be honest, $20? For what? Like, what am I looking at? What would justify the $20? Like, huh? There are no glowy effects, no nothing. They just change the skin a bit, change the colors, and that's it. It's like $20 for what? Speaking of which, there will of course also be a battle pass, and that battle pass will cost you another $10. Yep. And you can see the levels of the battle pass right here. If you want to buy the whole battle pass, so you don't want to play the game, you just want to unlock the battle pass entirely, it will cost you $140. Yes, $140. Yep. And there's the last part of the battle pass you are getting. It's going up till level 80. So you have to play quite a bit to get up there. Yeah, the Overwatch coins you can buy. I was like, yeah, Overwatch became a real free-to-play game. Oh, well, free-to-play. Sure, you can play the game for free, but with a lot of limitations here and there, and it's just... It's just unfortunate. So, with that said, we have one last news on the plate. And this is basically a continuation of the news we had yesterday. As you might have heard, Google Stadia was playing a song yesterday, and it sounded a little bit like this. Another one bites the dust. Yep, Google Stadia is shutting down on January 13th, and they have been announcing this yesterday in an update to Google Stadia. Not calling it we are shutting it down or anything, but an update. And they at least announced to all the people that they are getting back all their money. Like everything they have been buying surrounding Stadia will go back to them. So that is pretty nice for the consumer, right? And I know we have been talking about this, but there has been some new development here and there. And some of it is just batshit crazy. So first things first, apparently, when it came to the shutdown announcement, that was also the same time all the developers who have been bringing their games to Stadia or still plan to bring their games to Stadia found out about it. Yeah, that's right. Apparently they have not communicated this with their partners at all. There was no communication. Like they got the news like everybody else got. And this got really depressing because some people plan to release their games today or next week. Like there were literally multiple games planned to come out on Stadia in the next few days. But Stadia is shutting down in January, so technically they can still... No, they can't. Because the moment they announced that Stadia will go out of business on January 13th, they completely shut down the shop. The shop is gone. You cannot download anything anymore. You cannot buy anything anymore. Like you can only use the games, or not download, but you know what I mean. Like you can only use the games you already own. And it's just, whoa. This is also pretty shitty because some people will say, oh, well, they're getting all their games back, all their money back, right? It isn't really a big deal. Well, here's the problem. Some games, because Stadia is basically its own ecosystem, had to be treated as their own game environment. All their save files, all the things they have unlocked, like Destiny. You played Destiny 2? Well, you played it in the own Stadia ecosystem. So that means when Stadia is shutting down on January 13th, bye-bye items, bye-bye stuff. It's all gone. Hitman. IO Interactive has now been putting out a statement that they are now looking into ways to continue the Hitman experience on all platforms, and they're trying to figure out what they can do. But because they got surprised by this, like everybody else did, they have to figure out shit. And it really, really, really sucks. Like, especially for a lot of indie development studios. So Stadia was pretty crazy in paying developers upfront money to bring their games over to the platform. Like, keep in mind, there were rumors that basically Red Dead Redemption 2 just got $10 million for porting a 2-year-old game to Stadia. Like apparently the money Stadia was throwing at some developers, or at actually a lot of developers, was pretty high. And a lot of studios realized that this is how they could easily recoup their development cost by just going to Stadia. And it was a little bit like a safety net to them. That's all gone now. It's like some people don't even know if they will still get the money. Because, well, as I said before, Google has not communicated anything with their partners. Amazing. But it gets even crazier than that. It gets even crazier than that. Do you know whom Stadia is blaming for the failure? Microsoft. This is all Xbox fault. If you're like, huh? Why? Because they bought Bethesda. They bought ZeniMax. What? How? Because apparently Stadia wanted to do that. Stadia wanted to buy ZeniMax / Bethesda, and they were apparently offering them money, and then they just found out that Microsoft bought them for so much more money. And after that event happened, Stadia was like, well, we don't have a chance. We're out. Like, that was apparently the turning point internally that they decided not to pursue Stadia any further. Like, that was apparently the breaking point. And it's like, so wait, you killed off your own development studios. You have a completely outdated marketing strategy / monetization strategy. And your only option B was buying Bethesda? Like, what? Now, you might say, okay, this is just the rambling of crazy Google, whatever. Unfortunately, this could become a problem. Because, as you might know, some watchdogs organizations around the world have been raising their concern regarding Activision Blizzard and Xbox buying them, like the CMA in the UK. They have been raising their concerns that this might be bad for other companies. And if Google decides to leverage this, and if Sony is maybe going to Google and it's like, hey, could you maybe like prove that to the CMA that they actually killed you with this decision? Like, that would be really beneficial for us. And it's like, oof, this could spell actually some trouble. Yep. This could actually spell some trouble for the Activision Blizzard acquisition. So we will see if they decide to weaponize it or not. But of course, as I said before, it's completely bullshit. Like, the biggest problem was that they treated Stadia like a console launch, even though it clearly wasn't, and they didn't want it to be exactly that, right? They wanted to put away with the console requirements that you have to pay hundreds of dollars before you can put a PC or a console in your living room. And they marketed Stadia exactly as that. The next thing you want to have in your living room. And you need a controller. You needed some hardware at the beginning. No, now, not anymore. But at the beginning, that was one of the points, right? And also something else I've just realized yesterday by thinking more about it is, it's fascinating. Google is one of the biggest companies in the world. They have the biggest search engine on the globe. They have the biggest entertainment website on the globe, aka YouTube. And they have never leveraged this power to promote Stadia, to showcase Stadia. It's a bit of a similar issue with, I think, with Mixer back in the day. I always felt a little bit that Xbox was and Microsoft was far too shy to leverage like Xbox and all the other things they had to really push Mixer into the market. And it's the same thing with Stadia. Like when you're looking at Stadia, you realize like, wait, how did you not leverage the power you have with Google, the power you have with YouTube, and even some of the other things, and really push for it? Like a lot of people who are using Google and YouTube daily don't even know what the hell Stadia is. That was one of the biggest issues. Like, my friends, who are all avid gamers, they are not necessarily in the gaming industry, but they are avid gamers. They game every day, they play a lot of different games, they know which games are coming out, they know that the new hardware is coming out. Like, they are not the crazy people like I am, right, who know basically everything going on in the gaming industry. And they are not like the casuals who are just playing like once in a week. They are like the middle part of this gamer segment. And funny enough, we were all sitting together, as we often do, in the Discord yesterday. And I was like dropping the news, hey, Google Stadia is shutting down. Zero reaction. Like people were literally like, Google what? What is that? What? What am I doing with that? I've never heard of this. It's like, wow. That's not their fault. It's the fault of Google. They've done a bad job. Which brings me back to the last part. Like, I might be superstitious here, right? I might be superstitious, but I want to remind everyone that the person in charge for Google Stadia was Phil Harrison. And if you're like, Phil Harrison, I've never heard that name. Oh, you probably have. Let me just show you his face, and let me also show you the things he has been doing. This dude was first working on Sony, and then he was launching the PlayStation 3. As you know, the PlayStation 3 launch was a disaster. He then moved to Infogrames/Atari, and he had to file in bankruptcy after he basically made some shots there. He moved then to Gaikai, which became basically PlayStation Now, and Sony bought them. He then moved on to good old Xbox, and he was the dude who was literally telling people to buy an Xbox 360 if they don't have permanent internet for the Xbox One, and that's the product they have for those people. This was the dude who said that in an interview when he got asked, hey, what do you tell? You just announced the Xbox One, and you just announced that it has to have a permanent internet connection. What do you tell to the people who don't have that permanent internet connection or who have issues with the internet? And his answer was literally, yeah, for those people, we already have a product. It's called Xbox 360. And Jeff Keighley then asked him again, did you just tell those people to buy an Xbox 360? Yeah, that's right, Jeff. It's like, and then he moved on to Google Stadia, and that thing just closed down in a few years. Like, again, if you like, this is the perfect example of a C-suit just falling up the ladder. Like, you can make one mistake, sure. You can make two mistakes, okay, happens. We are all humans, right? But if you are basically burning down every company you have been the boss of, yeah, I would very much refrain of ever hiring this dude ever again. Just saying. Like, whatever he's promising you, whatever he's showing you on his resume, just don't. It's not worth it. Just don't. But yeah. So I'm like, I truly believe that Stadia, like, some people say that Stadia was just at the wrong point, at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I say no, they were not. They just executed it horribly. Like, xCloud came out, what, half a year later? And that thing is doing just amazing. xCloud is absolutely doing fantastic. So, no, I truly believe it was bad management decision, which very bad execution of the plans. And again, that price model they had was just stupid. Absolutely stupid. But yeah, sucks a bit. Especially because it is another Google product which just jumped over the cliff. And it will now be soon with all his brothers and sisters of all the Google products which were shut down. Yay. But with that said, folks, we are done with the gaming news. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and my commentary, I would appreciate if you leave a like. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe for more daily gaming news. And if you ever want to stop by on my main channel, which is youtube.com/ChaosMoleFX, there should be a link in the video description if I didn't forget it again, which I sometimes do. Derp. We are streaming here from Monday to Friday, starting at 8 AM ET, which is 1 PM UK time, and 2 PM Central European time. And we are playing a lot of variety games here. Also, I'm doing guides and reaction videos for the non-streaming side of things on YouTube. And you should also definitely check that out. With that said, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, and I hope to see you next time.